Pakistan meets UN climate change goal a decade ahead of deadline.
Here's a summary of the article.
Islamabad. Though among the countries most vulnerable to global warming, Pakistan has passed a crucial milestone on the road to environmental protection by meeting the overarching United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 13, which calls for urgent actions to combat climate change and its impacts, 10 years ahead of the deadline, reveals the UN Sustainable Development Report 2020. With the achieving of the Climate Action 13 Sudanese pounds, Pakistan has proved that it is committed to global efforts against the challenge of climate change to protect life on the planet Earth, he told reporters here. Highlighting the government's initiatives against climate change, Malik Amin said adoption and implementation of different low-carbon growth trajectory, mitigation and adaptation initiatives paved the way for the country to achieve the UN's Climate Action Goal 13 and that, too, 10 years before the deadline. He said major initiatives included 10 billion tree tsunami program, Clean Green Pakistan Initiative, Clean Green Pakistan Index, Protected Areas Initiative, Ecosystem Restoration Fund for facilitating the transition towards environmentally resilient Pakistan by mainstreaming adaptation and mitigation through ecologically targeted initiatives such as afforestation, biodiversity conservation, enhancing policy environment inconsistent with the objectives of Pakistan's nationally determined contribution and attaining land degradation neutrality. According to the Prime Minister's advisor, in the Climate Risk Index 2020, German Watch, a sustainable development advocacy group, ranked Pakistan in its long-term ranking 5th among the countries most affected by extreme weather events. The index showed Pakistan among 10 countries most affected by climate change in the last 20 years due to its geographical location. The Premier's aide said climate crisis was affecting every country and Pakistan was no exception in terms of impacts of the crisis and heightened vulnerability to it.
This post received a score of 19,000, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Living in Karachi definitely doesn't feel that way.
It might be outskirts of cities that are improving, still man, kudos to your country. Amazing when Pakistan is able to do what countries far better resourced, far better educated, with far superior infrastructure can't. Goes to show it comes down to political will over all else.
When he was leading a provincial government, he started the Billion Tree Tsunami, which was extremely successful. When he became PM, he started the 10 Billion Tree Tsunami and so on. There's a very obvious more clear push towards better energy production. He also recently made it so that fuel standards to be the same as the EU.
Man, I wish I heard more about other countries that just the UK, US and EU on Reddit. That's really interesting.
Maybe if other countries joined in and went batshit crazy for a bit they would get the front page. We're putting the work in to get talked about over here. UK.
They should make a leaderboard, and make countries fight for the top spot. Gamify climate change.
The world kinda did that for COVID, however COVID is like golf, lowest points wins. I don't think the USA realized though and went for the high score. I am an Indian, and good for Pakistan. We might as well be competing for good than the bad.
I am an Indian too and I feel the same way. Happy to follow Pakistan's lead in this initiative.
Great to see comments like this.
Yeah it is, but I'm wondering if these are Indians who live in India or America. A lot of Indians in India still don't like Pakistan. I grew up in America with Indian parents who migrated here and they still don't like Pakistan from growing up in India.
At the end of the day, it's going to come down to the major players.
Profits over climate, my man. Gotta have those profits.
Thing is, the profitability of fossil fuels is dropping and renewables is growing, but governments in some countries keep throwing money at the fossil fuel industry.
It's like trying to stop a sinking ship by putting band-aids on the holes.
They're the best at Tekken too. That's the real-world news coming out of Pakistan this past year.
What's Tekken?
It's actually an insane story as throughout the years of the game being played worldwide, the first Tekken was made in 1994, Pakistan was never heard of as ever being competitive given how isolated the nation is to the rest of the world. These players have developed a style of play that has been exceptionally consistent towards winning with minimal risk leading to such dominance in the game. In 2019, a Pakistan player called Arslan Ash surprised the entire Tekken community, winning both globally attended EVO tournaments in America and Japan, the first time a single player has won both tournaments in the same year in Tekken history. Multiple Pakistani players have been introduced to the world stage with sponsorships, but the entire year was one filled with wonder.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.